Hi everyone, I'm Joe. Today it's time for me to do my monthly reading wrap up for July 2023. July was a good reading month. I read 3 books in total, but this should be a very fast monthly reading wrap up because those 3 books are a trilogy, so this really will be quick. However, before I talk about the books that I read, I'm actually going to do something a little bit unusual and just very quickly mention a book that I am currently reading, which I never do actually. I'm pretty sure I've never done that in over 9 years of booktube in a monthly wrap up. And the reason for this is I'm reading The Gene by Siddhartha Mukherjee. Now, I'm mentioning this because this is a non-fiction. It is the first non-fiction I have read for over 2 years, and this is going to take me multiple months to finish. I expect this will be September, maybe, if I'm lucky, if not October or November. I mean, it's not that I'm not finding it interesting, but it's non-fiction about genetics, inspired by Rachel, a friend of mine, who's got a great interest in genetics, and it's different to read something like this, so it's going to take me a lot longer. Just thought I'd mention that, in case people have noticed me reading on Goodreads. Don't be expecting me to talk about it just yet because it's going to take rather a while. Now I'll talk about the 3 books that I actually did read and finish, and that is, as I said, a trilogy, and that is the Korean War Trilogy by K.B. Rogers. The Korean War Trilogy comprises There Before the Chaos, Down Among the Dead, and finally Out Past the Stars. This is the sequel trilogy to their first trilogy, The Indian War, which I greatly enjoyed. This trilogy was still good, but not to the same level as The Indian War. This is a science fiction space opera trilogy where the main character is a woman called Hale Bristol. She starts off in the start of the previous trilogy. Basically, she was a member of the royal family that controls this planet and the Indian Empire, and she leaves home and becomes a gun runner, which is obviously illegal, but she does it anyway. She does that for many years. Her royal family, though, isn't that phased by her leaving, such because there's enough royals. However, there's political intrigue, and some of the royal family gets attacked, so she has to come back and start surviving out from there. This trilogy follows on from where the events left off, and I think in a way it's an interesting one because that first trilogy was contained and wrapped up well. It didn't leave any hanging points whatsoever. So I was very curious as to where they would go with this character, and indeed the other characters that you got to know rather well in the first trilogy. And overall, I think it was an interesting journey to see the characters on, but some of the characters you didn't get the development on, and indeed you got such a little development that actually you felt like you were stepping backwards and you were regressing on them, which was a shame. And the main character, Hale Bristol, yes, she was done as heavily detailed as normal. This is one where she's suffering trauma from the events of the first trilogy, post-traumatic stress disorder and such, and she has to go through more again in this, as you would expect. And this time it's against the gods of the Korean Empire, which is different by itself and not something that I was actually expecting. And her development, again, like the other characters, it's interesting, but it's done in a way that you feel as if it's almost little aspects of it are felt unnecessary. I mean, there's a romance related to Hale, the main character, and that feels not necessarily unnecessary, but it certainly feels like it's been pushed and almost forced on her more than it needs. It doesn't feel a natural romance. It doesn't feel like she's just in a good situation and think people have got together. This feels like the author's really pushed these characters together, and it doesn't quite work as well as it could, which is a shame. You want the character to do well, obviously after the events of the first trilogy. So I would say overall, if you like the Under the Moor trilogy, consider reading this one. You do not need to read this though, because that trilogy is fully self-contained. This does not answer any outstanding questions, because frankly there weren't really many outstanding questions from that first trilogy. It was self-contained. This is just the author just writing another sort of adventure and another scenario for the character to go through, which is totally valid, and I'm happy I read it. It's just not, strictly speaking, completely necessary. I mean, I actually wanted there to be another book or something based around this main character and this world, yet it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. But then again, I'm not the author, I don't write, so so it's an interesting trilogy, and one that, if you've read the first one, I would recommend it. But if you haven't read that one, then do not read this, because it references things in that first trilogy and characters and development that it will literally make no sense. It would just be strange, and frankly, you just won't enjoy it if you haven't read that one. So, with that said, that is it for this month's reading. So, if you've read these, or obviously anything else by Wages, or you've read the Gene by Siddhartha Mukherjee, then you can mention that if you want. I mean, I'll talk about that in a future wrap in a few months' time. Then please leave a comment, or if you've got suggestions based on these for me, because I'm always interested in getting to read new books, then again leave a comment. All my social media links can be found in the description box below, as they always are. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.